Oh, at the health food store, they have plenty.
Okay.
Or just make your own with the balsamic vinegar and olive oil. Right?
Okay.
Don't get ahead of me, so we're going to go through
Excuse
that.
me.
Yeah. Okay, so this BALi Eating list, right, eating plan. So this moving forward, once you finish the 40-day program here, right, then you're going to start eating regular food again, right? But this is the regular food that you're going to choose from. So now, as long as you pick your foods from this list and follow this way of eating, right, and this way of eating out, then you're going to continue to lose weight. Now, one of the things we've been able to find out with this spray, so in parallel with you guys, another group has just been doing the spray and the metformin, right, and they have lost weight, right, and this has worked very well as a maintenance program. So once you guys finish this Weight is Over program, that is an option for you also to just use this spray and continue the metformin. Those are two things that you can just use from now on, right? You can use forever, right, again, for maintenance. And then following this eating plan. So that's what this group, the other group that has been going kind of parallel with you guys, has been doing. They've been following this eating plan, doing the spray, and just doing the metformin, and have lost weight, right, really well, right? So I'm definitely convinced, so I was just using them as a test group to just make sure it worked, and I'm definitely convinced that it does, because everybody lost weight except one person, who had some issues, with the infection and had to take antibiotics and so forth. So this BALi Eating, so the BALi stands for Basic Antioxidant Low Insulin, Antioxidant Antifungal Low Insulin. So the B stands for basic. Basic meaning the opposite of acidic. So when you eat a diet that's full of sugar, right, and these refined carbohydrates, and you build up a lot of bacteria and fungus in your body, their metabolic product is acids, right? So they'll make your body more acidic, right? Which leads to a lot of disease and so forth. So basic again means you're going back toward alkaline, right? You're making your body back normally alkaline again. Now, don't get caught up in this fallacy, though, of trying to artificially alkalinize your body by taking, baking soda or, alkaline water or any of these other scams, that are out there to alkalinize you, right? So the alkalinization happens when you get the bugs out of your body, right? When you lower the bugs out of your body. I mean, that's what's causing the acidity, right? So trying to artificially alkalinize your body, it's like, spraying green on your lawn, right, to make it green, right? Makes no sense. You have to fertilize and water and do the right things, and then the grass turns naturally green. So if you eat correctly and decrease the amount of fungus and bacteria in your internal system, then your body automatically alkalinizes itself, right? Okay, so that's the B, stands for basic. The A stands for antifungal, antioxidant. Now, plants normally make antifungal chemicals because they've got to survive in the same environment that's full of fungi, right, that we do. So every breath that you take in, you're breathing in fungi and bacteria and viruses and so forth. Plants, right, they live in this environment that's full of fungus, right, and all these other critters that are trying to eat them. They got to try to protect themselves, right, particularly the ones that have sugar on the inside, because fungus really likes sugar. So plants will, in their skin, in their peels, either a peel or a shell, right, as a barrier, right, to protect the inside, or the skin, they will make chemicals, right? So these fruits, right, particularly the dark ones, right, the reason they have that dark skin is that there's a chemical that's in that skin that kills fungus, right? That's why it's on the outside. It's a barrier. So those red grapes, right, the pomegranate, the dark plums, all of those, that's why the skin is so important to eat, because that's where the medicine is, right? And that's why sometimes the skin is a little bitter. That bitterness comes from the medicine. And that's why chocolate and coffee are so powerful, right, if they don't get refined, right? So coffee, as it comes off the tree, right, is a berry that's in a tropical region. In tropical regions, fungus grows a lot more, a lot easier. And so plants that grow in the tropics, they have to have more powerful antifungals. That's why so many of our medicines come from the tropics, right? Come from like the Amazon, because those plants, they live in an environment where fungus grows very easily because it's so humid. So they have to have more powerful antifungals. So these plants that grow down there, these so-called superfood berries, that you hear about, like the acai or some of the other popular ones that are out on the market that are supposed to be superfoods. Well, the reason that they have such a powerful effect is because they have very powerful antifungals. That's what's in fruits and vegetables that make fruits and vegetables good for you. It's not the vitamins, it's not so much the fiber or anything else. It's the antifungals, right? And then also these things that are antioxidants, right? They help some also. So the antioxidants help some also. But mark it down. The big thing is the antifungal property of the food. Now, one of the ways that you can tell how powerful the antifungals are in a food is to set it out, right? So like a good experiment to do is set you out a head of iceberg lettuce, right, on your kitchen table, and then set next to it a head of purple cabbage, right? The purple cabbage, it will keep for a long time without spoiling, right? But that iceberg lettuce is going to turn brown, it's going to wilt, because the iceberg lettuce doesn't have any antifungals, right? Very little, if any at all. But that purple cabbage is full of antifungals, which tells you that's very healthy for you, right? Okay, so in this list, you're going to have foods that are high in antifungals, and I have them marked with an asterisk. So the foods that have the asterisk by them, those are foods that you really want to eat a lot more of, right? Everything on the list is okay to eat, but the foods that have the asterisks by them, really eat a lot of those, because those are going to keep your internal environment from growing fungus, right? So think of those foods as a way to keep your body sterilized on a regular basis, just like you would keep chlorine in your swimming pool, right? To keep mold from growing in your swimming pool, right? Okay. Now, the LI stands for low insulin. Now, insulin, of course, remember, is that primary hormone that makes you store fat. The more insulin you produce, the more fat you're going to store. Foods that make you produce insulin are these foods that are high in carbohydrate and high in sugar. So you want to choose foods that are going to be low insulin producers. So foods that, again, the produce, the type of proteins that I have on here, right, the meat and fish and chicken and so forth, the wild game, the spices and so forth, all those are going to help you not produce so much insulin. And again, the more insulin you produce, the more weight you're going to gain. The less insulin you produce, then the easier it will be to control your weight, right? So that's what the LI stands for. Now, going through here, so this first section is vegetables and legumes. So, your vegetables and beans. One thing that you'll notice going through here is I really highlight the foods that, so the darker they are, the better. So like beans, for instance, the black beans are going to be better than, say, navy beans that are white, right? So the darker something is, that means the more antifungals it has in it, right? So start keying your eye to when you go into the supermarket and you're picking out produce, look for things that are dark, things that are purple, that are black, that are kind of the color of your shirt, right? Cyanic, what we call cyanic color. Those are the foods that are going to be, again, very high in these antifungals. Okay, so that's vegetables and legumes. Then the next we have fruits and berries. Now, the fruits and berries, again, the power is in the skin. So the more skin you can get in, the better. So the smaller the fruit, then the more skin you're going to get, right? So, like if you have a big, if you have an apple, right, versus the same weight of blueberries, right, you're going to get a lot more skin from the same amount of blueberries, right, because you're getting more skin, right, in those smaller ones. So pick small, dark fruit, right, so blackberries, raspberries, right, the pomegranate, cranberry, and again, the ones that are the most powerful, I have an asterisk by them. Now the acai, you're not going to find that as berries, but you can get the bottle of the juice from Market Street or West Texas or DNS Pharmacy or South Park, and to just drink an ounce of that a day. The acai is one of those super berries down from the Amazon that has all the antifungals in it.
Drink an ounce of it every day?
Yes. Okay, and then we come down to again, on these fruits, so the ones you want to stay away from are the ones that are not on here, like bananas, right? I mean, that's all carbohydrate, right? And if you peel a banana and set it out, what's going to happen to it? It's going to turn brown very quickly, right? And grow fungus very quickly. That shows you that it doesn't have any antifungals, right? Okay. Now, then the nuts. Nuts are very good for you for lots of different reasons. The type of fat that's in nuts helps lower your cholesterol. Those have antifungals also. The most powerful ones are the pistachios and the black walnuts, right? Especially the pistachios, right? The pistachios have a wide range of antifungals in them. They've got the antifungals that the red wine has. They have the ones that the apple skin has. They have the ones that the coconut oil has in it. So those are top on my list, right? They also have the ones that the green tea have, right? So the pistachios, I mean, they are a very powerful health food there. So that's something just to keep for a snack. One of the things that you want to try to do once you move into eating regularly is starting to graze, right? So I'm trying to eat something like every 2 to 3 hours, right? That is a technique that helps you produce less insulin. When you eat a big meal, right, so like 3 big meals a day, then those big meals make you produce lots of insulin, right? If you were to eat the exact same caloric content throughout the day, but you spread it out into 6 different meals, then you would produce less insulin. And that's what helps you lose weight, right? And bodybuilders know this, right? And so when bodybuilders, particularly when they get ready for a contest, they do this program, right, of just eating every 2 hours, right? Because it helps them get very lean, right, for a contest, right? So it'll help you also. And that's, when we train diabetics, right, that's one of the things we tell them, try to eat something, every 3 hours. Again, it helps them produce less insulin. Okay.
If you do, say you've worked a long time and you didn't have a snack and you're real hungry and you're famished and how do you handle that? You don't want to eat a big meal and produce insulin, but you're real hungry because you hadn't been grazing.
So again, just do one of these high good fat techniques, like the pistachios, avocados, right, something like that. It's going to give you satiety, right, make you feel full, but again, without making you produce all that insulin.
Okay.
And then that is a key, is to plan ahead, right? I mean, so don't let yourself get in that situation, right? So have you some pistachio nuts with you, or have you an apple, or some boiled eggs, or some raw vegetable, right, on a regular basis, right? Put it in a Ziploc or Tupperware. Again, plan ahead. Don't let yourself get hungry, right? Okay, seeds, so the pumpkin, sesame seed, sunflower seed. This flaxseed, the golden flaxseed, put golden flaxseed down there by flaxseed. I didn't put golden in there. So this particular type of flaxseed is the golden flaxseed. Get that, and you should grind that up fresh each time, right? Like a quarter cup. Ladies, this is something that is very powerful for the skin, right? Improving your skin texture and tone and so forth. That oil that comes from those flax seed. You could take a quarter cup of that, put it in a cup of yogurt, right? And that's a very good breakfast. The guy that delivers the raw milk here they're going to start making fresh yogurt, so that'll be another option for yogurt. Okay. And then the butters and oils, so real butter, fine to use. The extra virgin olive oil, that's excellent for your salad, also to cook with. There's almond, sesame oil, all of those are okay. Of course, the fish oil you should take, once you finish this 40-day program, everybody should supplement with fish oil, right? The Pro Omega that we have is the best one I've seen out there because it has such a high content of this DHA. Coconut oil, either to cook with or to put topically on your skin. Coconut oil is excellent for your skin. Particularly if you have a problem with dry skin or any kind of rashes, right, that type of thing. Coconut oil, excellent for that. Now, grains. So, all of us have, grown up eating sandwiches, right, and biscuits and bagels and all these things that are made of grain. And the refined grain that most of your choices are from here in the United States are going to make you hyperproduce insulin. And that's why Americans are so fat, is because we eat all these refined grains. I mean, we feed ourselves like the ranchers feed cattle. Right? The way the ranchers make cattle fat very quickly is to load them up with grains, right? Load them up with lots of corn and feed them antibiotics, right? So if you eat those refined grains, then you're going to put on the weight. Now, these are some grains that are unrefined and they're going to have lots of antifungals in them. So if you do choose to eat grains, right, be sure they come from this list. Humans are really not, grains are not a normal part of our diet, right? You don't see any animals, right, out in the wild that are close to us that eat grains, right? They just don't do it, right? But if you do eat grains, right, choose from these, right, so the barley, black rice. This black rice is really good. If you do noodles, right, do the soba, which are buckwheat noodles, do those. So those will, again, keep you, they won't make you gain the weight like the enriched white flour and corn and rice, right? Those are the big high-fat grains here in the United States. So enriched white flour, corn, and white rice.
What would be an example of non-yeasted bread?
That Ezekiel, right, is a non-yeasted. It'll say on there non-yeasted. The unleavened bread, right, is another example of unyeasted.
What about those little things that are real flat? That we buy?
Flatbread.
That flat.
Yeah, most of the flat breads are unyeasted, yeah. But you can look on there. If it has yeast, it'll say. But yeast is used to make the stuff rise and be fluffy, Okay, beverages. The sparkling water I'm a big fan of because one of the things that does, those bubbles, right, make you feel a little full. That soda stream machine is just marvelous. You can get it at the Bed and Bath, and you make your own carbonated water, right, with that machine. And then they have these little flavor enhancers that are it's just the essence of some, either lemon or grapefruit or something. You just put a couple of drops, in your liter, and it gives you just kind of the flavor of lemon or whatever, without adding any sweetener or whatever. Now, they also have in there some artificial sweeteners. Throw those out, right, because you don't want those artificial sweeteners. But the other flavor enhancer that they have in there, that's okay. But that's an excellent gift to give yourself, this soda stream. And then these teas, right? So the white tea is actually the most potent antifungal. That is the most unrefined tea is the white tea. And then after that is the green. And then the most refined is the black. Right? So the white tea is going to be your best choice. Right? Black coffee, right? We're finding just about every month, it seems, right? Some new medical information comes out about the benefits of coffee. And again, the coffee bean is a fruit that's grown in these tropical regions. And that's why it has such strong antifungal properties. So this last week, right, the medical literature just came out with how drinking coffee prevents prostate cancer. The week before that, it was breast cancer. Before that, it was reducing your risk of diabetes and pancreatic cancer, right? So coffee, very good for you. Putting the sweeteners and so forth, not so much. So if you're a coffee drinker, add coconut milk, right, to it, or almond milk, right? And but coffee is a good thing. Coconut water, particularly for athletics, right? It has the very high mineral content, particularly the potassium, that very good for hydrating athletes. But just in general, the coconut water is an excellent beverage. The low sodium tomato juice, very high in potassium.
Is the coconut water high enough in potassium that if somebody was particularly low on potassium,
Yes, that'd be a good replenishment for potassium, yes. Yeah.
What is?
Coconut water.
For electrolytes?
Yes. Yeah. Coconut water, that's the closest thing to blood plasma, right, that we've ever found, right? It has a very similar electrolyte content to your blood, right? So much better than Gatorade. Okay, and then the fish and shellfish, right? So the smaller the fish, the less likely it's going to be contaminated with mercury. So sardines and anchovies, right, are smaller fish. If you do get the larger fish, make sure that it says on the package wild caught, right, as opposed to the farmed fish, right? So the farmed stuff is going to, have more antibiotics and other stuff in it, right? So the wild caught is going to be less likely to have the mercury in it, also less likely to have antibiotics and other pesticides in it, and so forth. The poultry, again, get free range. Right? So a big objective for us is to keep all these chemicals out of our body, right? So, get your chicken from farmers, right, that let their chickens eat things that chickens are supposed to eat. Not these big commercial warehouses where they got the chickens all cooped up, right, and they can hardly move, and they inject them with antibiotics and all of that stuff, right, and make them very unhealthy. Same thing with the eggs, right, so free-range eggs. Okay, and then we have the meats. Now, again, here we want to stay away from all the chemicals, so choose grass-fed, antibiotic-free meats. Now, when you grill or blacken proteins, right, animal proteins, that makes them more carcinogenic, right, which means that more cancer-causing, right?
Even on the George Foreman grill?
Any kind of blackening, right, whether it's barbecue, George Foreman grill, whatever, increases the cancer risk of those foods. Now, if you marinate them in rosemary before, then it knocks that out. Right? So if you're going to grill, right, marinate your meat in rosemary first.
I thought that was a pill. Is that a liquid that you buy?
No, you can just get the raw leaf, right, the bulk leaf at the health food store.
Okay.
Yeah. And then just, put your meat in a bag and just marinate it overnight. And so then I have all these, the wild game and so forth listed on here also. But then this meat substitute, the corn. Is everybody familiar with the corn?
I started using it this week. I
Yeah.
love it.
Good. It's a meat substitute. You can't hardly tell it, from hamburger. They also have the chicken nuggets, right, that are very good also. But now then they have some of these other products that are breaded and, have all the other bad stuff in them. I don't recommend those. But the grounds or the tenders, right, are just excellent. Okay, and then dairy. So plain yogurt, and I talked about he's going to be delivering that fresh every week. That's this Greek Gods brand that's over at the health food store is really good also. Then the goat milk, coconut milk, and they have the coconut milk just in the cartons now, right? This is my grandkids drink the coconut milk. Use that.
But that's not the same thing as coconut water.
No, coconut milk is different.
Okay.
Right? So coconut milk looks like milk, right? And then drinks like milk. Again, the raw milk, if you're going to do cow's milk, do the raw milk, right? Again, we want to stay away from all the antibiotics and pesticides and that type of thing. Again, he delivers that fresh raw milk, right, from his dairy there in Abernathy, right, every week here to Amarillo. So you just...
Where does he deliver it to?
I think he brings it right to your home, or maybe they meet somewhere.
How do we get in contact with this man?
Let me see now. Just when we go back to the office, I can give you his email.
Okay.
And I think it's raw milk at Amarillo. Anyway, I'll give you his email. Okay. And then the sweeteners, right? So again, remember, any sweetener, anytime your tongue tastes sweet, it sends a signal to your brain that you're getting sugar. Right? Because that's the only way that your brain knows how to interpret sweet. It does not understand artificial sweeteners. Right? So if you eat an artificial sweetener and it's 1,200 times as sweet as sugar, your brain interprets that you're getting that much sugar. And so it produces enough insulin to compensate for all that sugar that it thinks you're about to get. Right? So that's why Americans have just gotten fatter and fatter the more of these artificial sweeteners that have come out. Right? So if you use a sweetener, use a xylitol. If you use nutmeg or cinnamon or vanilla, then that enhances the sweet taste. right? So you can use less, right, if you use the nutmeg, the vanilla, and the cinnamon, right? Cinnamon also improves your handling of insulin. Right? So when you add in cinnamon, it makes, again, you more efficient at using insulin, and so you use less. Question?
If you forgot to do your cinnamon that day and it's time for bed, can you just mix it up in water and drink it?
Yeah, or tea.
Or tea, just mix it up?
Yeah, just a teaspoon.
A teaspoon.
Teaspoon. A tablespoon would be pretty strong for one shot.
But you do like for us to have a tablespoon a day, don't you?
Yes. Total.
Total.
Yeah. The blackstrap molasses is another good sweetener, particularly, if you're doing some baking, or the blackstrap molasses is good for your coffee, or if you're using those whole grains for a breakfast cereal like oatmeal, right, or the black rice, right, to sweeten it with the blackstrap molasses, really good. And you can also get these concentrates made out of these berries that we talked about before, right, that are so high in the antifungal. So you can get the concentrate, and this is not the juice made from concentrate, so this is the actual concentrate that's really powerful, really concentrated. So they come in about an 8-ounce bottle, right, and you only have to use like, a tablespoon. You put that in water, and and make you a beverage from that. If you've got the soda stream, then you can make you a nice soda, right, either from this pomegranate concentrate or the cranberry concentrate, or one of these others. So take advantage of those as a sweetener also. Now, then the condiments that you have on here also. So the hotter the better, right? Again, so the reason that plant is making this hot stuff, right, is to kill fungus, right? The jalapenos, right, the other types of chilies and so forth, they're doing that for survival purposes. So if you eat them, then you get those same benefits, right? The cayenne pepper, all of those things. So, eating these things, with the that have hot chilies on them, very good for you. Particularly during the cold and flu season, right? Curry powder is another thing that has this turmeric in there, very powerful antifungal. If you do ketchup, make sure it's the sugar-free. Garlic and onion have very powerful antifungals in them also. Kelp, you can get in a shaker, to use that instead of salt. And of course, the kelp has that iodine in there that's really helpful for us. Tabasco sauce. And then again, here I have the rosemary and the cinnamon, right? So to use those in cooking. The curry powder. Kimchi is a kind of a spicy pickled Korean cabbage, kind of a relish or a side dish. Really good. The more kimchi women eat, the less breast cancer they get. And usually we find the things that reduce breast cancer also reduce prostate cancer. So kimchi, you go to one of the Oriental markets, right, to find that actually. But I think they have some over at the nutrition vitamin cottage there also. I think I got some there. And then I've got a list of herbs and spices, again, for cooking and seasoning and that type of thing. And then just a little paragraph on how to eat out. So particularly if you eat out on a regular basis, then you need to focus on these restaurants that are going to serve you food that's not going to throw your insulin way up, right? And restaurants that are not bringing bread out to your table, right? And that type of thing. So the Asian restaurants are very good at that, right? They don't serve you bread. You do have to avoid those fried things, right? And the white rice. But the Asian restaurants are just going to be very easy to get meat and vegetables, right? Same thing with Indian and Mediterranean and Japanese. The Thai restaurants also. And we're, fortunately, here in Amarillo, we're starting to see a lot more Asian restaurants start to flock up here now, right? So it's not just Mexican and barbecue anymore, our choices, right, and fast food. So, getting a big salad or a big soup at the beginning of your meal, and again, particularly for people that find they have to eat out on a regular basis, right? You don't cook at home. So get a big salad right at the beginning of the meal, a big hot soup at the beginning of the meal, really blunts your appetite, right? So starting out something like that. What else? The more spicy, the better. And you're not going to find consistently good choices at fast food restaurant, right? So McDonald's off the list, right? KFC off the list, right? Any of the pizza places, right? Off the list, right?
All Mexican food prices off the list.
Pretty much all Mexican is off the list. American Mexican, right? So, if you were in Mexico, Mexican, right? I mean, you would find some places to eat, but the way that Mexican food is prepared here in the United States, you don't want to go there.
Oh, on the cayenne pepper, is it better if I shake it and put it on my food and eat it? Or you can buy capsules?
You can buy the capsules. I mean, I would try to get into the habit of, trying to make your food your medicine, right? Rather than trying to take so many pills.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
I bought, some steaks at the 3H All Natural, beef place that's on Paramount.
Oh, and Paramount,
She
huh?
gave me this to give to you.
Oh, good.
And
Good,
she
good.
said that if you, on your first purchase, they give away a free package of hamburger meat, but the hamburger meat is 90-10.
90-10, what's that? Oh, the fat, lean, the
10
fat. Oh, excellent, excellent.
No, the man that owns that, we talked to him and he told us they put it in a feedlot for 2 weeks.
Yeah, the finishing, yeah.
Is that okay for us?
That's better for you, right? It would be
All better
best.
is all grass.
All grass-fed, but that's the next best thing. So they pasture feed them, right, for most of their lives, and then they do what's called finishing, right, for 2 weeks or something, in the feedlot, where they feed them some grains, and kind of fatten them up. But so that would be the next.
We bought some this week out of Nazareth on pie dome,
Net pie dome, huh?
and that's all grass fed.
Yeah, that's what
Totally grass fed.
the pie dome would PAIDOM.com, pie dome.
You find it.
Yeah, they have an excellent variety of meat, and theirs is all grass-fed. I think they have eggs also,
Yes, sir.
and
They deliver here about once a month over there behind Bardell's, so if you don't live here, that'd be kind of inconvenient, but you gotta be here that night they deliver.
yeah, yeah,
That evening,
Yeah.
about 6 o'clock.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, they have. Now, I have worked with them in the past, and they have very good product, and that's a family-owned business, husband and wife, and kids, and
The 3H is family owned too, they're from Clarendon.
Yeah,
From
they're
Clarendon?
Very nice people.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
very
good.
nice.
Very nice people.
Good, good.
Oh,
They're on
Bahamas.
Fairmont,
Oh,
so I'll have to
okay.
go by and visit them.
Maybe I could just go out to the place and get some.
Well, you can, they have a little, deal set up there right at the ranch.
Yeah,
Do
You
they?
can go by.
great.
Yeah, their food tastes, it's really
Where
good.
are
to eat.
where are they located up here?
2623 Paramount.
Right there on the curve, from Olson to Paramount.
Yeah. Good. Okay, well, I think next week is y'all's last week, is that right? Yeah, okay. Good. You've also all done for the
Oh,
class.
for the class?
Yeah. So again, you're going to transition to this, right? So now after you finish day 40 of your injections, then you continue the regular eating plan for 3 days, right? And then you transition over to this. Right? Okay.
How are we supposed to know what the calories?
The calories don't matter. Don't count calories. Don't worry about calories.
Not on
Right.
calories
No,
anymore?
not on calories.
Okay.
Yeah, what matters is how much insulin you're producing, right? Your interest rate.
So should we just look at like helpings?
Nope,
No?
nope,
Don't worry about it.
no math.
But don't eat after you're full.
Right,
Eat 6 times a day. Great.
right. Yeah, and you may initially, have to set a little timer, to go off, right, to remind you. But get into the habit of eating every 3 hours. Right? Yeah. And preparing, right, having stuff with you, right? So, find out what things you like that are portable, again, the boiled egg, pistachios, fresh vegetables, right, and so forth. Always have things prepared, right, so you don't have to go to the vending machine, or stop by McDonald's on the way home, right?
And if you get invited to a party, eat before you go, and you don't have any desire.
Eat before
to
you
take
go.
something.
Eat before you go. Yeah. So that particularly, around the holidays. So,
Well, what about, just one of these days, we're gonna get out to where our body has lost all its stored fat.
yeah.
Can you just comment on that? How do you know when it's time to stop the HCG?
Your waistline. Right? You want to get your waistline as a man 35 or below, as a woman, 30 or below.
Is there much chance that we'll go too far, lose too much?
No, your body won't let you do that.
We're
Your
gonna,
brain won't let you do that.
so at that point, then 500 calories a day is not gonna be enough, we're gonna be famished.
No. Once you finish the HCG, you don't do 500 calories
But
anymore.
I mean, as we're on this plan, at some point, we're gonna lose all our weight while we're on HCG.
Oh,
We stop. At some point, we stop.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say I hadn't done it 40 days, but I've lost all my weight.
Right.
What happened? How do we know when it's time to get off HCG?
Again, your waist. Yeah.
Okay.
That's your biggest barometer for disease, right? How much you're carrying right here, right? And for a woman, you start going over 30 inches, breast cancer, heart disease, all that stuff. Alzheimer's, same thing with men over 35, prostate cancer, right? Heart disease, all the disease. That's where we start to see the incidence start to increase, right? Because that weight down here, that's yeast weight, that's fungus weight, poison weight, right? If you're storing it in your gut, that's a sewer, right? Basically, and you want to get rid of it. You want to flush the sewer, right?
And I've had the detox rash.
Yes.
So is there, if it is about to drive me nuts,
Yeah.
is there anything that I can do to, or do I just need to let it go?
No. Just a baking soda.
Baking soda?
Yeah. Just a compress of baking soda. I mean, because that's acid. Again, that's the critter's acid, right? And the baking soda is alkaline, so that'll neutralize it, right? So just a
How long
compress.
should I expect to have this?
Oh, it can go on for a while. I mean, so as you clean up these pockets, so it's like rats leaving the ship, a sinking ship, right? And what will happen is you'll have, these breakouts, like you're having there on these places that are kind of sweaty, right? So here and in the back of your legs, and that's why it happens there, because that's where more moisture is, right? And around your stomach and the creases and so forth. And then that'll go away, and then you'll lose weight for another little while, and your body will hit another yeast pocket, right? And you'll have another detox. But
Okay.
so until you get your body cleansed out, you may have episodes.
Okay, well, as
Yeah.
long as I know what to expect, I can deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. Other questions? Okay. All right. Well, great. You guys are just doing fantastic.